Hey, Diane DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to show you my Gina K Designs September 2025 challenge card. So Gina K runs a monthly challenge on her Facebook group, and I'll have a link to that down below. But this month for September, it's a color challenge, and it's using Plum Punch, fresh asparagus, honey mustard, and a prickly pear. So I've done several concept cards already, and I'm really not happy with them. This first one, I love the background. I wasn't loving all of these leaves here. I used skeleton leaves in, I believe this was warm cocoa, and I used the cardstock from each of the different colors. This background was done with Twirl at Gingham. Hello, Sheena. And did some stencil work and blending brushes. So wasn't real happy with this. I thought it was too busy. And then this one, I did that Twirl at Gingham on the background. I didn't extend it far enough, but I'm still not happy with these leaves. So we're going to go a whole different direction. And I'm just going to start getting the base of the cardstock, or base of the card. So I'm using these two rectangles. Hello, Sheena. I don't know if you can hear her. I don't know if my microphone's picking her up, but I'm going to use these two triangles. And if you notice down here, all of the measurements on the Gina K Designs master layouts, they're all done in decimals. I have a hard time converting, so I've made this nice little conversion grid. And I'll have a link to this. This is a free resource if you want to go ahead and print it off. But it has an inch on a ruler, and it has like 0.875 is 7/8 of an inch. So it's kind of a nice conversion. And then of course, you know, me and my OCD, this is to the 32nd. And then if you want to go to the 64th, oh, I have a typo here. I need to fix that. So let me circle that. I'll fix that and get these all linked correctly. So all three of these will be available on my blog, on my website, as a free resource, but I'll have links to these down below. So for the card base, I am using one of my A2 card bases that I have cut cardstock. Go ahead and cut and score for me. It just saves me time, and it also saves my equipment wear and tear. And they do a really good job of packaging cardstock and delivering it to my front door, which is wonderful. So the mats, both the front and the inside, I'm using charcoal brown, master layout 1, and the mat is the larger of the two rectangles, so 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. The interior, or the focal mats, are 3 3/4 by 5. So this is the inside, but before I glue it all together, this is just some regular copy paper. And I'm gonna open up my inks here real quick, because we're gonna decorate the inside real quick. And I've already got the stamps from the All at Once Autumn Cheer. I've got 4 of these leaf stamps already on 2 acrylic blocks, and we're going to go ahead and decorate. This is a freebie for the month of September until the next release. So let's do this little guy in fresh asparagus. And first time stamping, so I like to get any of that manufacturer residue off. And we're just going to do that around the sides. So we are done with the fresh asparagus for now. Let's do honey mustard, and this looks like a buckeye leaf. Same thing. Oh, I have this upside down. Oh, that's funny. I haven't done that in a while. Okay. And just like that. Make sure, okay, honey mustard we are done with. And then this is a oak leaf, I think. That's funny. Okay. Just like that. And done with the Plum Punch for now. And this last one, which one did I just stamp? Yep, I just stamped that one. There we go. This one's the different. There. There. Okay, we're going to cover this ink up and move that off to the side. Get my mat, get the glue bottle. I'm going to go ahead and get this glued down and put on the inside of the card. Upper right, lower left, and if you've got that, you are good to go. I was 20 years a card maker and did a class with some people and learned that little trick. And I'm going to go ahead and put this mat on the front. And then we're going to do the next step, which is some stencil and blending brush work. Okay, so that's done. Top my glue again, and I'm going to pause you and get set up. Okay, I've got my background grip mat. This is the number 2 grip background. What does she call it? Background. Oh my gosh, I wish I could just remember this every time. It is the background, double background grip mat. So this is number 2 of her collection. Sorry about that. So this is the background we're going to look at repeating. It uses the honey mustard and the prickly pear. I did some experimentation where I used all 4 colors and came up with this. I think this would be beautiful as a small focal point, but not the full background that we're going to do. So I've just got a regular A2 size cardstock. Let me turn that grip mat. It'll be better doing it that way. And this is the Twirl at Gingham. And I want to, because we're going to twirl it, so I want to make sure I'm going to have the Gina K's etching down here in the right hand corner. I'm going to try to get this lined up. Perfectly here. There. Okay. We're going to start with the prickly pear. It's the lighter of the 2, and I just have my yellow blending brush. I know this, I used this brush so I don't have to clean it off, but I used this with the prickly pear before, and I always like to have a sticky note just to take off a little bit of excess and a very light hand. And I'm just twirling the brush around clockwise and then counterclockwise, and then you can increase the pressure if you want more color. We're going to start up here. I'm going to go back where I see I'm a little lighter in some places. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to cover the ink. Otherwise, I'm going to stick my arm in it. move the honey mustard down and let's see what we've got here. Isn't that pretty? I think you can see that. I think I've got my exposure too high, so let me turn the brightness down just a smidge. There you can see it. That's better. So the Gina K is right here, and I'm going to twirl it and see what we get. Oh, I want to clean this off first. So I'm just using a little bit of alcohol and some microfiber towels, and I'm just going to spritz, being careful not to spray this, and make sure your room is well ventilated if you're using the alcohol. I have mild asthma, and I always just try to make sure I'm well ventilated. Okay, Gina K right here. We're going to twirl and we're going to line up everything again. And all I'm doing is aligning with lines that are already there. And then anchoring it down. So let's get some honey mustard going here. Same thing. Start light. I'm sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. I should have paused you. And sorry for the sniffling. I am going to pause you. I need to get something to drink, so hang on one sec. Okay, I am really sorry about that. The alcohol misting it, I must have inhaled some of that, as my lungs were not happy with me. So, lesson. Make sure you are well ventilated and don't inhale that. So sorry for clearing my throat. But I've got the honey mustard and a little darker up here. This is going to be gorgeous when we lift this away. So let me cover the ink pad. And let's peel this up. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this. So let me clean this real quick. And we're going to cut that panel out. Okay. Don't get really close to it. And let me clean this all up and I will be right back. Okay, so I have grabbed the smaller of the master layout rectangles and I'm just going to choose how I want this to look. And I'll go cut this. Okay, here we are. And that's a beautiful background. There's some dust here on the corner and the edges, so I'm just gonna pull that off with my fingernail. Don't give yourself a paper cut doing this. I usually use a fine nail file. And let me put all this off to the side, and all this dust just put right here. So the last piece we're going to use for cardstock is I used the stitched ovals from Gina K and I cut out charcoal brown, and this was 80-pound Neenah Classic Crest Solar White, and I did this little tag out of Gina K Whisper cardstock. Okay, make sure I get things back where they belong. And let's get this affixed to the front of the card. And then we'll do our focal point. I think you're going to like it a lot. Oh, I like that. This is not as dark as this one, so you can add a little more pressure if you want to get the darkness here, but we did not. And I'm going to go ahead and put this oval together. And just like this, and then I'm going to pop it up because we're going to put it smack in the middle of this. So let's get some foam. I'm going about it a little on the backwards way of doing a card. Normally you start with the focal, but today, oh, those little things just want to stick to me. And before I press it down completely, I think I like it. That white's a little crooked, but that's okay because there's going to be something that goes over the top of that. And I need one block because we are using the other free gift for $75 that you spend at Gina K Designs. You get a choice, 3 choices, I believe, and I don't remember what the third is. It might be a little pack of her white cardstock, but this Harvest of Love and the one we used previously, which was the Autumn Cheers, I believe, the all around, yep, Autumn Cheer. But this one, we're going to use this stamp here for our focal point and this thanks over here on the tag. So let me grab this thanks. And I don't have Gina K's black onyx out here. I have the Memento Tuxedo black. And we're just going to get this inked up and do our tag. I'm going to hold this down for just a minute and let that soak in. Oh, that's perfect. Let me get this out of the way and I'll clean this off. And I can put it back where it belongs. Now I have already stamped and die cut this image here with Tuxedo black. And the reason for that is I colored it with some alcohol markers. So let me go grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, I use, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Ohuhu markers. This is the Honolulu, so it's got a brush tip and a fine tip. They've got some that have a chisel, but I like the brush and the fine tip. So what I did with the 4 inks, I took the ink pad and I swatched it out here. So we've got honey mustard, prickly pear, fresh asparagus, and plum punch. And then I went and found the Ohuhu color that matched. And this purple is just slightly off, but all the others, I think I got them pretty darn close. And then here's 3 other colors because this is how we're going to color this today. So I will have all of these listed down below and a link out to Amazon for you to pick these up if you want to add these in. If you don't want to add them into your collection and you've got some of the other, if you've got Copics or Olo, I think is one of the others. There's many different alcohol markers. Go ahead and swatch it out like this. I don't have the original marker sheet that I did to find this, or do I? Oh, actually I did. So this was me trying to find the right markers. It's a process. It is a process. So let's get onto this and grab one of these and start coloring. So we're going to do this guy back here in purple. And I did the brush. And I'm going to try not to block you so I apologize. But this is the V80. I am not a professional colorist. So if I stop talking, that means I really have to concentrate because I am not awesome at this. There. And the pumpkin in front, we're doing with the honey mustard, which is the Y9. Try not to go outside the lines or color where I'm not supposed to. I know there's a trick to alcohol markers, like don't go right up to the line because the alcohol spreads. And the cardstock I'm using here is 110 pound Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. And I have a matte, this gray matte. This is my alcohol coloring mat. It's well loved. It has, whoops, it has stains on it. Sorry. Didn't realize those weren't anchored. I'm a little bit ditzy. So prickly pear for this gourd over here. I make sure I don't do the petal of this flower down here. The stem up here, and I don't know if you can, my cats are downstairs playing with new toys. I refreshed all their catnip earlier today. Okay, so fresh asparagus. I'm going to use the fine tip for, I got something on my hand. There. I'm going to use the fresh asparagus, and I'm going to use the fine tip for all of these little leaves. Just, I know you can blend. I am not a blender. This is a cute set. And it's free right now if you spend $75 in Gina K's site. If you don't acquire it through that means this month, when she has her next month release, so I'm not sure what day it is here in September, this will be free to purchase. And the dies are also available in her shop for purchase. The dies are not part of the freebie gift, just the stamps. Make sure I've got you in frame. I've colored something before and realized at the very end you were not in shot. So you saw nothing of what I was doing, so I had to redo it. Okay, more leaves over here. Oops, that wasn't supposed to be green, nor was that. Oh well, that's okay. Those were supposed to be brown. Okay, so I have a colorless blender here, and I'm going to show you the magic. So you see on this one, you've got some graining where I've kind of lightened it up a little. That's what this colorless blender does. Oh, and this is the chisel. I want the brush. So you don't want to rub, and you just want to do 1 or 2 passes where you want to lift the color. Just like that. And then before I switch color, I just do the squiggle it on some clean cardstock. I'm doing this along with the pumpkins greening. Yeah, I believe I did that one already. Yep. Just in case if it picks up color, I don't want to transfer it between the gourds and the pumpkin. And you can kind of see that happening where it's lifting up some of that color and it's giving it that shaded form or that shaded coloring, because no gourd or pumpkin is, unless you paint it, is it perfectly one color. So I use the blender pen to kind of try to give it that impression of actual skin. So I'm using R12 for this flower, and I'm going to use the fine tip because there's just some really fine areas here. I have no idea what color this flower would be. It might be like a pale yellow. I have no idea. And last but not least, I have 2 shades of browns. And for the stems of these gourds, and let's use the fine tip, I'm going to use E310. And just lightly dab in those areas. And then for these guys, I'm not sure what they're called. And I know I already colored that green, but I'm going to go ahead and color over it in this brown, which is Y12. And call that done. Now, on those 2 that I previously colored, I'm going to see if I can lift some of that color up just a little. There. Yep, see, I did pick up some color right there. Awesome. And that's it. So let me move this aside, get the card. I don't have any twine or anything, so I'm just gonna affix this right there like that. So let me get my glue bottle. We're gonna do that first. Hold that down for just a second till it is permanent, and then we're just going to glue this right onto that oval. Just like that. And last but not least, we need bling. Nope, chocolate's too dark. Nope. I think we're going to go with some fall. I don't know. What do you think of that or the black? Here. Definitely not pink. Let me pull one of these out. See if I can get 1, possibly 2. What do you think? Oh, the black. I'm sorry. Oh, but this is brown. Do I have brown in here? I do have brown. Where's my brown? Oh no, here they are. Coffee. Yeah, let's put this black back in here. We're going to do brown. There. And let's do one right there. Okay, where to go? Here it is. There we go. One down here. One here. And one up here. Voila. And we have a beautiful card. That was just fuzz. Thank you very much for joining me today on this journey into the September 2025 color palette challenge that Gina K put out with her Facebook group, which I'll have that down below. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, if you would click the subscribe button down below and then the notification bell so you get notified on my next video upload. Also, if you would click the like button so that this video, along with some of my other videos, go into the YouTube algorithm, that would be wonderful. Until next time, happy stamping.